Israel is controlling our government. They determine when we go to war, they influence and buy our elections, and they are the reason that one of Donald Trump's top advisors just resigned this morning and is shaking up the GOP like maybe nothing that we've seen since Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation. Republicans are quietly, but some very loudly, in revolt over Donald Trump's war with Iran on behalf of Israel, one that we have seen Americans die unnecessarily for, one that we've already spent tens of billions of dollars on, and it is the reason that Donald Trump is melting down, freaking out, and posting insane rants this morning after this resignation that I want to start with before we get to Trump's insane post. Just in, Trump official resigns in protest over war with Iran, posed no imminent threat. Joe Kent, the Trump-appointed director of the National Counterterrorism Center, resigned in protest from his position on Tuesday over Donald Trump's war with Iran. After much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as director of National Counterterrorism Center effective today, wrote Kent in a letter to Trump, which also he made public on social media. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war with Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on, lied about, you should say, Joe, in 2016, 2020, and 2024, which you enacted in your first term. Until June of 2025, you understood that wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and that you should strike now. There was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie and is the same tactic that Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war, which cost us our nation, the lives of thousands of our best men and women, and we cannot make that mistake again. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war malfunction manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people, nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further towards decline and chaos. You hold the cards. This is massive news and a bombshell that is rocking the Republican Party. But I also have to say, the way that Republicans infantilize Donald Trump is exhausting. Oh, Mr. President, you were tricked by a media operation and all this foreign influence. Say he's fucking stupid. Just say he's dumb. Donald Trump is a dumb person who can be bought, who can be swayed very, very easily. That is what this entire administration is about. Who can pay the highest price for Donald Trump's power? Who can influence Donald Trump into doing whatever they want? And he always folds. And then everyone comes to his defense like Mike Johnson did here before Donald Trump's post.
Iran posed no imminent threat to our nature. It's clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. How do you respond to that and to those other Republicans who say that this war is actually putting foreign interests above domestic interests?
Well, that proposition at the end is clearly wrong.
Oh yeah, Mike, we definitely believe you. We definitely believe you, Mike. Israel sure isn't controlling the United States. They're not, dumping millions of dollars in dark money into these Illinois primaries. They don't control most of our politicians via AIPAC. They don't send them to Israel. They don't all clap like seals for Netanyahu. Sure, we definitely believe you, Mike. It is bullshit. And Donald Trump recognizes how unpopular it is with his party right now and how everyone broadly is turning against him in this disgusting, despicable, illegal war, which is why he took to Truth Social to melt down in this post. Donald Trump wrote on Truth Social recognizing the political reality that he is in, saying, "The Save America Act is one of the most important and quite frankly consequential pieces of legislation in the history of Congress and America itself. No more rigged election, voter ID, proof of citizenship, no rigged mail-in voting. We are the only country in the world that allows this." It's not true. No men and women's sports, no transgender mutilization of our children, 90% to 99% issues. Only sick, demented, or deranged people in the House or Senate could vote against the Save America Act. If they do, each one of these points separately would be used against the user whatever the fuck that means, in his or her political campaign for office, a guaranteed loss. Get your senators, Republican or Democrat, to vote yes on the Save America Act. I will never, ever endorse anyone who votes against Save America. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So Donald Trump is now threatening any Republican who does not make the Save America Act happen. And we know that John Thune is currently holding it up. We know that he does not want to abolish the filibuster to allow Donald Trump to pass what would be a sweeping voter suppression bill that would essentially allow Marco Rubio via your passport to control if you get to vote or not. But why is that Donald Trump's focus this morning, seeing a bombshell resignation from his administration? Because he knows the bloodbath that he is about to be facing in these midterms. Hard-line Republicans are abandoning Donald Trump. His biggest advocates, formerly in the press, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, these people, Nick Fuentes, for God's sake, are going to war with Donald Trump. He is hemorrhaging Republicans just as much as he is hemorrhaging independents. And so Donald Trump's sole focus, the reason why he doesn't care about anything else, is that he knows that the only way he can save himself in these midterms is to steal them. And he needs the power to do that. That is Donald Trump's sole focus. He understands that Israel has never been a more toxic political ally that he is holding closer than anything else. We have seen a massive shift in, thank God, mashallah, in the public's perception of the state of Israel, the apartheid state of Israel, and the genocide it has carried out against the Palestinian people, and the chaos it causes in the region, and purposely gets us involved in, to the detriment of the American taxpayer and our service members. And so, no, they are not our ally. They aren't. But they are Donald Trump's greatest ally, because their biggest donors, Miriam Adelson and Larry Ellison, by the way, who has given more money to the IDF than any single person. Those are maybe the two biggest players. When you're talking about donors and the corporate players in this second administration, Miriam Adelson, who gave Donald Trump $250 million and said she would double down if he ran for an illegal third term, and Larry Ellison, who literally controls the media apparatus that Donald Trump is using to propagandize. Soon to be CNN, already CBS, owns TikTok. That is what we are facing down. So those are Donald Trump's allies, the Israeli billionaires, Netanyahu, and even his own Republican Party fucking hates it. So it is no wonder that Donald Trump is focused more than anything right now on what? On making sure that people can't express how they feel at the ballot box, especially as we are also seeing gas prices explode.
When Trump's Energy Secretary Chris Wright tweeted out that the U.S. Navy was escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz, when in fact we weren't, did he think they were? Did somebody tell him that we were? Did he have a good reason to believe it? When he did that, that wasn't even the start of how well the Trump administration is handling this teensy little problem Trump reportedly thought would be no big deal when he decided to launch an unprovoked war on Iran. Trump reportedly told his advisors that he did not believe Iran would close the Strait of Hormuz if he attacked Iran. Of course, Iran did. Then Trump's defense secretary said the Strait of Hormuz was open for transit, except for the small matter of the Iranians attacking ships that tried to pass through it. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln. Then Trump told Fox News that ship captains should, quote, show some guts and just sail through the strait because they had nothing to fear because Iran was defeated and wouldn't attack any more ships in the Strait of Hormuz. And then Iran attacked more ships in the Strait of Hormuz. And then Trump said that the U.S. Navy would be happy soon, very soon, to start escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz. And then the Navy was like, no, my lord, no, we cannot do that. The memorable phrase there was that it would be a, quote, kill box for the United States Navy if they even tried to do that. Then, in advance of a presidential press conference today, Trump administration sources apparently told reporters that very soon, the U.S. government would be announcing a coalition of allies who would be working together to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. We were about to announce who our allies were going to be in this joint collective effort. And everybody printed it like that meant it was going to happen. When will you learn? Watch what they do, not what they say. Because then the president held that presidential press conference and he announced, quote, we don't need anybody to help us in the Strait of Hormuz. We don't need anybody. We can do it ourselves. Then he said that he'd be announcing very soon who, nevertheless, was going to be helping us in the Strait of Hormuz. Then he berated and insulted our allies for not doing anything to help us in the Strait of Hormuz. And then reporters all over the world started checking with their own governments. And indeed, whatever he thought he was announcing about other countries coming to help us in the Strait of Hormuz, nobody is coming to help. And in fact, he can't do it alone. And so, what do we got? I mean, maybe we'll get a ballroom?
Donald Trump is facing down a bloodbath in the midterms. He is focused on the Save America Act and has promised he will shut down Congress. He will veto any other bill if it does not get passed. Why? Because he wants control over the Congress. He wants control over our elections because he knows that is the only way he can preserve his power. Because Republicans, they are turning on him en masse, and we are going to continue to cover